It's good afternoon, Louise Azzopardi. Thank you for coming on Yellow Shelf.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's my pleasure. You are a seasoned podcast host. Congratulations. Your podcast show is Building Confidence. Tell
Mhm.
us all about it, Louise.
Yeah, so my podcast, Building Confidence, it actually started out with the name Anxious Tradeswoman, because that was something I could relate to. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this confidence thing, I'm not really that confident, but if I call it something with anxiety, then at least I'll relate to that. And then I built into the confidence. So now it's been called Building Confidence, I think for about a year now. But yeah, all different tips and tricks, pretty much going from anxious to confident, but also a lot of workplace skills to navigate different situations. So my background is as a heavy vehicle mechanic.
Yeah.
Started my apprenticeship when I was 15 in a male-dominated space. I had a range of experiences. I like to say it that way. Look, it
Yeah.
was amazing overall. That's why I stayed with it, and that's why I encourage women into it. But there was a few bumps in the road. And I felt like being in that male dominated space, even just in a trade space in general, this was the type of the advice that the boys were getting as well. Like when we come across a challenge, it's like you opted to be in that career, just have thick skin, have a teaspoon of cement, harden up, and I kind of got to the point where I was being told to have thick skin so often, I felt like I was a walking callus.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's gotta be another way.
Yes.
During COVID, I discovered coaching and I was like, okay, who's doing this for the blue collar world? Like contextualized for us. And I didn't see anyone at the time. So, in the bright ideas, I was like, what about me? I'll do it.
Yeah.
So I started off coaching, and some of the coaches I followed had podcasts that were being released weekly, and I found it so useful. So I was like, look, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this for my people. Now I'm up to episode 115. It's been going for just over 2 years,
Yeah.
and I love being able to get that information out there, so people don't have to think of the questions. They can just listen to a podcast episode and get some answers.
Yeah, and Louise, it's so good to hear about your journey and the reality of a journey as a female, like either apprentice or tradesperson. Yeah, it's you and I were sharing prior to recording. I have that background myself in HR, where that. Yeah, it's you've probably seen over the years, Louise, quotas in workforces where women are promoted, and then that can be a double-edged sword. So it's really resourceful podcast because really when you think about building confidence, you've got that idea that it's lived experience, but it's also that practice over theory. Do you know? So you've kind of, yeah, it's
Yeah. And
definitely
even having the confidence to do something you don't know.
yeah.
Like, even taking that first step, it takes a bit of confidence or audacity to be like, I'm going to give this a shot. So you're confident that you don't know, but you're confident that you will learn it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, I
Yeah.
love that. And so, Louise, tell us, you acknowledged, you're inspired through the coaching experience and other podcasters. Tell us about episodes and guests. So, do you have people in your network? Do you bring people on and you know these topics. So, how does that land for you when you're putting an episode together?
Yeah, so far my episodes have all been solo episodes,
Okay.
but I am going to start doing interviews probably bi-weekly, coming up towards the end of the year, just because I've met so many awesome people along the way, and they have so many lessons to share. Some of them have podcasts on their own, and some of them are doing different things. Some of them are head down, working in their trades, learning and implementing awesome things on their own. So I'm looking forward to having the opportunity to share. But a lot of my content comes from my coaching clients. The girls that I'm coaching, so I coach my girls bi-weekly,
Yeah.
and they are going through different things.
Yeah.
And I take the themes out of what we coach on. Some of them are harder themes, some of them are a bit softer, but then sharing those themes out with the world, and the tips that we've shared between each other, and the tips that they've implemented, and we've kind of got that research. Did they work? Did they not work? What did we need to change? And
Yeah.
then I share that out for people who aren't able to do one-on-one coaching for whatever reason. They can still get those tools and resources.
Yeah. And Louise, tell us if people are watching, if people think, wow, I know a guest or I want to recommend someone, how do we connect with you? Point us in the direction of you, your podcast, and the best way to get curious.
Yeah, so my podcast is on most platforms. I was going to say all, but there are things
Most.
popping up all the time. Um, but most podcast
Yeah.
platforms, if I'm not on your podcast platform, let me know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so on podcast platform, give me a follow, subscribe. I'm also on YouTube as well, so I post the episodes on YouTube. But you can contact me through my website, louiseazzopardi.com. And or you can contact me through Instagram, Louise Azzopardi Coaching. Feel free to send me a message there if if you want one-on-one support, if you know a guest, if you want to be a guest, feel free to reach out. If there's a topic that you want me to talk about, also free
Yes,
to
that's
reach
a
out.
great idea. Great idea. I think I've got one for you. Maybe you've already covered it in 115 episodes, but maybe not. Louise, I'll put that in the show notes to make it easy for anyone to connect with you, to connect to the podcast. Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you.
Cheers.